As a small biz pro, and so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with Coach Crystal. I messed you up there, Coach Crystal. Coach Crystal and Coach Gilbert Buchanan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Friday, Davey. Weekend, 4th of July weekend. Which it's kind of interesting. It feels like we already had our Independence Day, and so this is now. It really feels like their day, right? But I guess it's our day as well. But that's what it felt like when I was saying that earlier this week. But we are here for a long weekend. And so I hope you guys have some great plans and gonna be safe, but have a good time. I myself wish I could do some resting, but I have biz camp starting on Tuesday. And so you know what that looks like for the rest of the month. It's gonna be crazy busy time.
You're gonna have your plate full, co-host.
Oh Lordy. And it's like this week was getting me ready for what the future is going to be. This has been one hell of a week. And it has not stopped. Today is an intense day. What can I say? How about you?
Oh man, this week has been good. I think I taught one class. Was it one class or two classes? It seemed like I taught so many classes. So I did one for the Urban League. They're closing out their second series of the SBA Navigator program, which I designed, developed, and implemented.
Okay.
And hopefully they'll follow that program because it's a successful program. So the last class was getting government contracts, which was really good. We had quite a few people in attendance, and they loved it. So that was good, and now we're getting ready for next level. So I was sharing with you earlier today, Crystal, that the Greater Inland Empire region Hispanic Chambers of Commerce reached out to me and wanted me to become their procurement chairman for the organization, for the Latino businesses, the Black business, Asian business, and all the businesses there in the San Bernardino and Riverside area, as well as Los Angeles. So I'm very excited about that, co-host. Very
Well,
excited.
you actually should be. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yes, oh yes. You know me, I love helping small businesses, love elevating them to the next level. And now we've got a pie, and each slice of this pie, the pie has 8 slices. Each slice of this pie is a different ingredient. One slice is Latino, one is African American, one is Asian, one is non-minority.
Okay.
One is a veteran, one is women-owned businesses. One of them they call chingonas.
So you have become a very diverse coach.
I become a very diverse co-host, and it's good. I love it. So it helps me to dig deep into my tool of expertise to come up, so I can serve each of these population equally and impressively, so they
Well,
can be
awesome.
successful.
Well, I know you are going to do exactly that. I am not at all surprised that people are reaching out to you in order to take advantage of all your expertise and skills. We were very blessed this week. You did us a big solid for on Thursday. You at the last moment
On the
Gilbert
community
came through
briefing,
for me.
right?
Yeah, we needed to have a guest on because the guest we had scheduled for weeks, was not able to be there for us, and so you came through, and it's trending. You're trending right now,
Oh,
and
I'm trending.
you're trending on Facebook. So
Oh
you
wow.
you
Folks, you hear that? Folks, you hear that? Go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, YouTube, and see what is trending about us on the Business Zone. Go check it
right.
out. Very
So
important.
So Gilbert actually came on the community briefing, and he actually laid out exactly what it takes for you to be prepared and get ready for government contracts. We're going to extend that today
Oh
on
yeah.
to the business zone. I think because, and I named or entitled our show today is if you don't get ready today, you won't be ready for tomorrow.
That's right. I love that.
Name of our
Love it.
show today. And so we want you guys to be prepared. We live in a very chaotic world right now. And so from your business standpoint, we want you to be prepared for whatever happens, whether it's another pandemic or we fall back into the existing pandemic
Right,
or
right.
recession, whatever it is, we want you to be ready. Even if we're in good times, we want you to be ready. Hey, Ed, welcome to the Business Zone. So that's what it takes. I had a week like yours as well. I on Wednesday, Gilbert, I taught QuickBooks pretty much every hour of the
Oh
day,
my
starting at
Lord.
12:40. I became QuickBooks on tour.
See, I told you you were a superwoman, co-host. I told you, man. I don't know anyone who taught QuickBooks back to back to back to back. That's you.
Yeah, back to back. I was on at 12:30 for the new Women's Business Center. It was an awesome class, and we had about I don't know, about 20 people on there. Then I left there. I had a 4 o'clock with Vermont Slauson. I literally had to pick up my computer, pack up all of my gear,
Oh
throw it in a
Lord.
backpack, and go run down to the other side of town in order to be ready for the 6 o'clock, which was with I think it's called the Coalition
The
for Community,
the
the Southern.
Southeast Business Source, right?
Right, Business Source. I had to run down there. So at 4 o'clock, I broadcast from there to the Vermont Slauson group, which was a nice turnout. One of my students, Jessica McNichol, I had just taught her how to use Wave. She is just so thrilled about knowing her numbers. She went out and told everybody. So she
I
brought a
love
whole
it.
bunch of friends with
I
her.
love it. I love it. I love it when entrepreneurs are thrilled about the resources we provide them, and they go tell all their other
They go tell
entrepreneur
her.
friends.
I don't think QuickBooks has ever felt this much love.
Lots of love.
Especially in the 30 years that I've been teaching it, nobody has embraced it quite like they are doing right now. And then from there, I finished up about 5 minutes to the hour of 6 o'clock, and then I went into another room and I taught it to a room full of individuals that did not speak English.
Oh Lord.
That's the language I speak, and that's the language I teach in. But however, this go round, it was translated. So I taught QuickBooks, and I had an interpreter to translate it into Spanish. Now that was a first for me. It was
Oh
a long
wow.
day.
Yeah, it was a long day. So I can imagine, because when we teach classes for 2 hours or 3 hours, man, when we get done, we're drained. But you were doing this back to back to back to back. That's like what, 6 to 8 hours, right?
It was 6 hours of
Oh
QuickBooks.
my
6
Lord.
hours of, thank God. I mean, it was the same topic, but the last go round, I couldn't teach it like I normally teach it with all my stories and all that sort of stuff. I had to condense it so that the person that was translating it could translate it. One of the
Right.
translators was just learning it herself.
Oh my Lord.
She actually came as a student and found out that she had to interpret it, everything that I was saying. So new way to teach, but
That
it was an
that
experience, and
that's
wow, that's all I can
hilarious.
say. It was
But
just wow.
see, because you're so good at what you do, co-host, it wasn't that much of a challenge for you because you know how to pivot.
Yeah, I know how to
Just
pivot.
just like with a community briefing, when the guest didn't show up, you just reach out to me and I just pivoted because that's what entrepreneurs do.
That's what entrepreneurs do. I mean, we're fast on our feet. We got to
Oh
be
yes.
flexible.
Oh yeah.
We got to be able to duplicate ourselves. We got to do a lot of stuff. So that's what we did. And then last night I had an amazing opportunity. Last night with the Los Angeles Urban League's centennial celebration. They've been in our community for 100 years. They
Mm-mm-mm.
was launched in 1921 and to 2021, and it was the Whitney Young um, awards dinner or gala. And so
Mm-hmm.
they awarded and honored Reverend James M. Lawson last night,
Uh-huh.
and he's a civil rights leader,
Yeah.
right there with Martin Luther King and Andrew Young, and it was just so incredible. Well done.
Was John Lewis a part of that group also?
John Lewis was a part of that group. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of just so you guys can see it. If you guys go on Facebook, you probably see it. But this was the 100-year. That was the program came into this beautiful little box, and then you opened it up, and there you saw the civil rights leader and the date and so forth. Now
A
this was
century of service, huh?
a century of service. Isn't that beautiful? It
That's
was at
very nice.
the Beverly Hills Hilton, so the board members or anybody could go up and get their picture taken there.
Yeah.
And there's Reverend Lewis and with Michael Lewis, not
Yeah.
related guys, and then that's Elliot Hines. He is the chairman of the board. So it was just a really beautiful night last night. This guy is assistant to the mayor. There's Karen Bass.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Julia Malvo. She is just
That name
incredible.
sounds very familiar.
She's always on Roland Martin, but
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
she's a
yes.
chancellor at a girls' college. I believe it's in South Carolina, and
Hmm.
just amazing lady. So that's I have two celebrity uh individuals that I am always starstruck when I'm in their room. One is Dr. Marveau, and the other one is oh gosh, I can't even think of his name, but he wrote
George, is
no,
it
no, or
George?
George Frazier, but no, this guy
Oh.
is oh, it'll come to me. My goodness, I can look at him in his face. Uh it'll come to me. And I always get nervous. And then they honored Bonnie Jeter Thomas,
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
been with the Urban League for 31 years, and that
right.
was just amazing. And then that was so it was an incredible experience. Everyone was there
Yeah,
last night. Saw people I hadn't seen in a long time, and of course we've been out for COVID, so we definitely have not seen everyone, and it was good to see them. Last night was who else did I see? I saw uh Daryl Brown. He came,
oh, from US Bank.
yeah, he's retired now, so he
Yeah,
came in. Dave Ford from Edison was there, and
yeah,
Joe Childs from
from the
uh,
gas
the
company.
gas company, and Angela Gibson from Glack,
Yeah,
and it was good to see all of them. And it was cool. We had Joe Razan from Vermont Slauson. So all of the leaders and stakeholders and just folks that
yeah.
are making things happen in our community were there, and it was really really cool. I can't think of her name. She's just retiring from Union Bank.
Oh, oh, Cynthia.
Uh, uh, No, it's not Cynthia.
Sylvia. Is it
Sylvia.
Sylvia?
Yeah,
Sylvia.
Sylvia actually retired from the bank yesterday at
Ah,
5 o'clock. This is
oh
on
man,
her last day.
he made it official.
She made it official. So she is now a retired. I'm sure that's gonna last all of 10 minutes.
she she is a lifelong banker though. She's been in this industry for a long time, and she's assisted many of the trade associations and chambers in obtaining funding from the bank.
She's gonna be really missed.
Yeah,
But US Bank, Union Bank is merging with US Bank. And so
yeah,
usually that's what happens. You
yeah,
lose some of yours. So now
yeah,
we have to break in some new people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So with that merger, who is going to be the lead? Is it Union Bank or US Bank?
Probably a US Bank.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably
I,
from
I
from my
think
under
I
from my
think they said
understanding.
I think they said Union Bank, isn't it? That
Really?
yeah,
I don't know if that's true or not. Mainly, and I'm gonna tell you why.
yeah.
Because there are certain programs that we have done with Union Bank, and for a minute there, it was a question about whether they were going to continue those programs. So
Hmm.
that usually tells me that somebody
Who
else is,
the leader is?
yeah, who the leader is. So
Yeah.
that's me. That's totally on me. That's nobody
Hey,
else,
hey,
guys.
you could be right, co-host. You could be
Because
right. You
usually,
never know.
right. So we're hoping. I think they're going to keep the programs that we, especially my the youth. We do that competition program at
Yeah,
the beginning of in the spring. So I
yeah.
think they're gonna keep it, but we'll see. I mean, that's the one thing with banks. They merge into each other. It's kind of like a
Mergers and acquisitions.
positions, yeah.
That's what the banking industry is about.
And it's so interesting because for many, I that's why I bank at a small bank. So that because remember Security Pacific and uh First Interstate, and what other bank was what did I bank at? And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm tired of all these mergers. I'm gonna go to a little small bank.
Yeah. Well, I used to bank at Washington Mutual, and then they merged with Chase, took them over, J.P.
Yeah.
Morgan Chase.
Mhm.
So we had to deal with that, and it's kind of crazy because when us small businesses are trying to get certified, that's one of the things they want to know. They want to, okay, when you started your business, which bank did you start with? And you may say a bank that's no longer in operation. They go, well, I'm not familiar with that. Well, they got bought up by this other bank.
Right, and you have to go through the list of
Yeah,
who
you
bought
gotta
them
go
out.
through. Yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah, I
man. It's
think so and so
crazy.
bought this one out, then they bought this one
Yeah,
out, then they bought. Well, now
yeah,
they're this, right?
yeah.
So
Exactly, exactly.
now my
So,
bank, the bank that I bank with, they actually merged. The merger was completed in March. So
hmm,
Broadway Federal, which I've been with Broadway Federal,
right.
recycling black dollars, and my own personal bank account,
Hmm,
business bank account is all at Broadway Federal.
yeah.
But they merged with City First Bank.
Hmm,
This earlier this year, and this
right.
is a good merger because the founders of Broadway Federal were, they were black, and
Hmm,
then the ones that were there, the ancestors, their descendants, they didn't have children, so there was no one to carry that bank on. So the
yeah.
bank then became public, so it's a publicly traded bank, and then it became a community bank. Well, City First Bank is actually a black owned bank in Washington, D.C.,
Hmm,
so they were able to merge their assets, and it's made them a bigger bank. So
yeah.
hopefully they'll develop. They have multiple branches of City First on the East Coast, and they have a really great business philosophy, especially for small minority business owners. So I think that's, my understanding, is what's going to merge to the West Coast as well. So
Eh,
looking forward to that. They now have the capacity to do some more like one of the things I told him I wanted was, can we just win? Are we gonna get that feature where we can take a picture of the check and the check goes in? And so they were like, yeah, we can work on that. Their online presence is easier. There's even a mobile app which we didn't have
Which
when
bank
we
is that? Which bank?
City First Bank.
Oh, City First. Okay.
So
They've been around for a while.
they're on the East Coast, but
Yeah.
not out here. On the City First Bank, they are actually a pretty big bank. And when
Are they the one with that blue ladder going up, or is that City National?
that's City National. This
Oh,
one
okay.
is City First is I basically in the DC area.
Oh, it has the word first on. It's like
It does.
the one and ST. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but one of the things that the bank manager told me in LA was that when she went there, they have a really, when they sit down with a small business and they sit from planning stage to growth stage, which is
Hmm.
what we're always telling our businesses, right? You want to
Yeah.
develop that relationship. So the bank takes the initiative to develop that relationship
Right.
in
Right.
order to help the business grow and so that they can provide capital for them as their business is scaling up. So, um, and that's important because that's something we're always telling our businesses, that you want to be able to develop a relationship with the bank. So when you need them, they're there for you.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, they'll continue to build relationship helping our small businesses, because really what our small businesses need, they need lines of credits so
Yes.
they can start leveraging opportunities and leveraging funding for working capital and that type of thing. So
Hmm.
as long as they're making sure that there's lines of credits available to these businesses, then I'm cool with what they're doing.
Yeah. So far so good. I mean, there's always a transitional period, and for me the transitional period wasn't too difficult. The first month, they were trying to close out the various phone lines here and merge them with there,
Oh,
and the
Lord.
accounts went over here. But um finally what has happened is the old Broadway federal accounts are no longer accessible. They've merged everything in,
Yeah.
and so it's really good. So hopefully they'll be able to create more branches,
Okay.
and that'll be good. But they have some great things, reward cards for your uh for credit cards and so forth to small businesses. So really cool.
Now,
Yeah.
co host, I want to ask you this question. Are you familiar with a bank called Coastal Community Bank? Coastal.
I think I've seen that when, because QuickBooks you get to merge your banks,
Yeah.
your bank feeds, and I think I've seen that in there. Why was up?
I don't know if they're an East Coast bank or not. I kind of think they are. And they sent me this notification where they're saying, "Hey, no deposit fee, no transaction fee, no this fee, no that fee." I'm going, "What?
So
Everything
it
is zero."
so
You
is
can
it Coastal Bank and Trust? Is that what it is?
it's Coastal Community Bank,
Oh,
COSTAL Community
Coastal
Bank.
Community Bank.
So they're saying, you can do all these transactions, you can wire money, you can wire money for free. I'm going, what? You
And
can
let me
use
see.
you can use ATMs all over the country. If you use it out of region, then you pay 250
Oh,
per,
okay.
per withdrawal or transaction. But other than that, they seem pretty good. And I think they give you how much? I think they give you 2.5% interest on your money.
Okay.
So I'm going, well, wow, that sounds pretty good. But you know me, I don't like those fly by night banks. You put your money in there, and tomorrow they end up, in a foreign country somewhere, and you go, "Where's my money?"
Yeah, I haven't, as of yet, I haven't run any other custom clients of mine that actually have used that bank. So I would probably, if I were you, do some research on it. But
Yeah, yeah,
banks come up all the time, and so you just have to kind of see if it works for you,
Yeah,
right?
one of the amazing features that it had that it was attractive to me was the bill pay feature. You know, because you know, as small businesses, when we're paying our bills, we establish one account just to pay bills, nothing
Yeah.
else. They pay bills from that. So if somebody want to rip you off, you know, they may end up getting $5 or $10. That's it. They're not going to get all of your money.
You know,
They're not going to get
but
all of your money. Yeah.
well, that part's true. Yeah. So you have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, I would do my research to see. Like I said, I kind of prefer smaller banks. I like banks that know who I am, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I bank at the
Well,
bank
well,
that.
the reason I my ears perk up when I see their name and see what they're doing is because they're a community bank, and community
Yeah.
banks are usually the ones who spend the time to learn about you, learn about your business. They want to know about the community and all of that. So
Yeah.
that's why my ears kind of perk up.
Yeah,
So
so I would do my research because, like I said,
yeah,
I feel more comfortable at community banks. I prefer that you know my name and not just my
yeah.
bank
Oh
number.
yeah. Oh yeah. When I walk into a bank, I want you to say, "Welcome, Mr. Buchanan. How are you doing today? How is the family? How is the
Yeah,
business?" You know, that's the
yeah,
kind of thing I want. I don't want when I come in there next.
right,
Okay,
exactly,
what's your account number, sir?
right,
Oh.
exactly.
Well,
And
there'll
half the
be a
time,
transaction fee here.
for asking, and I got my bank account. I have RBD's bank account, the Community Briefings bank account. I
Yeah,
have the nonprofit that the board because I'm the treasurer there.
yeah.
Half time I can't even remember my own, right? So
I
I'll go
know.
in and go, I'm sorry, I
I
just been
don't
grown
remember
up.
the number.
No problem, Miss Mitchell.
Yeah, exactly.
I I require that every now and then, especially when you
Exactly.
got so much going on, you can't, almost can't even remember your own name.
I
So,
know. I went to a bank today to withdraw some money,
uh-huh,
and I forgot my wallet. I was in such a hurry to get out of the house to go get it. I forgot my wallet with my ID and everything in there, and I'm going, oh my god, because I'm withdrawing so much money. You know, they usually ask you for ID, so I'm going,
right.
oh Lord, now they're gonna send me home to go get my ID and all of that, right? So I said, I'm hoping you're not gonna ask me for my ID because I left my wallet at home. She said, no, no problem, Mr. Buchanan. It's
See,
okay.
that's
I
what
said,
I mean.
I said, what? I
There
was
you
so
That's what
excited.
I
I'm going,
mean.
I said, that's the kind of customer service I want. You know my name, you know all of that. You
That's
treat
what
me
you
with
want.
respect.
That's a bank that has you at not just at they want you as a customer because they take the time
Exactly.
to know who you are. So that's my bank. Because
Exactly.
about 3 months ago, I don't know what was going on. I had so much going on in my head. I got to a store and I could not remember
The
uh
PIN number.
the pin number, and I must have transposed. It was just
See, that's what happened to me when I had COVID. That's what happened. I could not remember. And the password was only 4 digits. I couldn't even remember it.
I ended up I did it so many times, that it became a issue. So then the
Yeah.
bank start calling me saying, "Hey, Greg," the bank start calling me saying, I think someone, is there fraud going on?" Like, no, it's me. I had a complete brain meltdown. I can't. So they had to reset my password for me, but they called me.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of service we want. Hey, Greg, Ragamuffin Greg.
Greg, how are you feeling today? I know
you
Greg is
you feeling better, Greg?
he went out there to the COVID land and got COVID.
So, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is a Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4. And we have a very honorary host, co-host. His name is Greg, Greg Sneed. And we found out yesterday that he might have a little bout of COVID. So we just want to make sure we check in on him, make sure he's doing okay.
Oh boy, he
Uh,
didn't lost his sense of taste. He
he
got
said
the real deal now.
he said he feel the same way, but he lost his sense of smell. Oh my
The
Lord!
Oh Lord, Greg, we be praying for you, my brother. We be praying for you. I bet you won't. You're gonna be like Gilbert. You ain't going out the house no more.
I know, man. I know. Greg, trust me. After my bout with COVID, I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to go any. I don't want to be in any crowd. I don't want to go to any events. So I'm hoping it doesn't get to you that way, my brother.
Oh Lordy, well he says he's smell gone,
But
but he
taste still
says
there.
he tasted it. Well, at least you can taste the barbecue this weekend
Okay, good, good,
in between
man.
your chicken soup.
Hope you're not getting headaches or in a pains and fatigue, man. So we're praying for you, my brother.
He said he coming over to visit you,
Oh, you're coming
Gilbert.
over to visit. I got my security gates and my security guards up there. Oh no.
Lord have mercy. Well, yes. So everyone, today we're gonna talk about government attaining a government contracts. Gilbert did such a fantastic job at the community briefing on Thursday, and we so appreciate him. Greg is one of our co-hosts on the community briefing. He was a little bit under the weather, so Gilbert just took the show and just raved, and everybody was in love with him as is always his goal.
You gotta have them falling in love with you, co-host.
Right. So today he's going to have you guys falling in love with him because we're going to talk about getting ready today. So you won't have to get ready
That's
for
right.
tomorrow. And there, like I said, there's so many things going on in this world, one being a recession and all the other chaoticness that's going on in the political world, in our government world, and our Supreme Courts are going nuts. So the world is pretty chaotic right now. So we're going to talk about something that's how we stabilize our own personal and our personal lives, and most specifically our business lives. But before I do that, Gilbert, I do want to take a moment and congratulate Justice Kataji. What's her last name? The new judge.
The new judge. The new Supreme Court judge. Congratulations.
So wish she had been there 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, then this Roe versus Wade thing wouldn't have been reversed and we'd be in a better position. But
right.
So, Ketanji Brown.
There you come, Brown.
Ketanji Jackson Brown.
Brown. I couldn't even get it out. Thank you, Greg, because my brain today is tired.
Thank you, Greg.
So we're so pleased to have her. And I also heard one of the other justices broke his hip. So
really?
Now they may be looking for another judge.
Another replacement. All right.
But maybe Biden can get somebody else in so we can break up that
good old boy network that they've got going there.
Yeah, so here comes the judge. So hopefully I know she will do us all proud. Because right now, boy, Washington is a hotbed of nonsense.
It's a mess.
Boy.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
All right, Gilbert, you all ready to rock us with this good information on
yes. Oh, yes. We're ready to go. And folks, what we're trying to do for you here is to help you not to go back to what happened in 2020. In 2020, many small businesses were not ready. As a result, they were blindsided by this pandemic. And because of that, when the government provided some resources and some help to you, under the condition that you have to have these documents, that didn't happen. So it was really tough for many of us small businesses to really get the help that we need, or they need, I should say. And as a result, I just want you to think a little differently in your planning of your business, in the implementation of your business, the structuring of your business. So one of the things that we say on this business zone all the time is that it's good to have transactional business, but we prefer if you have contractual business, because transactional business means that a client comes in today, it may come in tomorrow, may come in next week, may come in the month after, But you're not sure about that. There's no guarantee they're going to come in. So whatever you get is what you get in terms of revenue. But with contractual agreement, then you have a contract, and based on that contract, you're locked in for a certain period of time, and you know you're expecting a certain amount of money within that period of time. Now you can hire employees, you can grow your business, you can even use the contractual dollars that you're getting to access lines of credit and leverage other types of funding. So that's how we want you guys to look at this. And, for the holiday weekend, we want you to go off in the sunset thinking about these things. So that's what this show is all about today, guys. Me and my co-host, we're going to go back and forth on these points. So, she will speak to one of the points. I'll speak to one. We'll have a discussion about it. And just so you guys can get a better and a clearer picture about what being ready for government contract is all about, what it takes. It's not that difficult, guys. It is not that difficult. It may seem like a mystery to some of us, right? It may seem like a mystery because you've never done it before, so you get nervous and you get afraid. Do not get afraid. Remember, entrepreneurship is about taking risks, taking chances. So that's what we're going to do here today. Show you how to prepare yourself in order to get in. So, getting contract ready. What is contract ready? If any of you know that, I want you to throw it in the chat. Just tell us what your perception of contract readiness is all about. So, contract readiness, Crystal, our definition of contract readiness is that a company has an established back office that they enable to build their capacity and to scale and grow the business. And that is done while ensuring that all required compliance paperwork, including the firm's financial capability, which is where my co-host comes in because she's an expert in the financial aspect of a business. So you guys want to utilize her skills and expertise as well as my skill and expertise. Put them all together, guys. You guys can become contract ready just by tapping into both of us. Now, we have other resources that we can use as well. So just remember, you're in a good place when you're dealing with us here on the Business Zone. Coach Crystal Mitchell and Coach Gilbert Buchanan. I'm going to say it again, just so you guys don't forget, just in case you didn't have your pen ready. Coach Crystal Mitchell and Coach Gilbert Buchanan. That's what we do, guys.
And it's so interesting, Gilbert. So contract ready, and as you said, having your back office ready, and especially from the financial standpoint, right?
Yeah.
To me, knowing how much money I'm making,
yes,
knowing how much it costs me to make that money,
yes,
thing to me that's all just is common, is part of doing business. So, but what I found actually in my coaching practice is that, they're excited about delivering the product and getting the product out there to marketplace, but really not mining the business of the business, right? Right. They spend a lot of time, marketing, which is really important. I'm not saying it's not important, but your business has to be a solid foundation, right?
Right.
You have to make sure that it's not a catch and catch can, or that your business is making money a couple of months out of the year when it should be making money, because trust me, your expenses are coming every single month, right?
Right.
So you can't just make enough. You cannot. You have to make sure that you can pay your expenses every month. And then the caveat of that, of being in business, is making sure that you're creating a profit at the end of the month. I teach my kids in Biz Camp. I teach them, what's your contribution margin? And you always get a kick out of that, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
and what is your break-even point? So you don't know that if you're not maintaining your firm's financial capabilities or
Yes.
capacities in a
Yes.
place that you can go to readily to get that
Right.
information. So so very
Exactly.
important in
Yeah.
from that standpoint. To me, what the heck are you in business for if you don't know how to make money? I mean,
Money is the lifeblood of your business. That revenue help positive revenue, I should say, because some people make revenue, but it's not positive. They're still in
right,
the hole. So positive revenue is the lifeblood of your business. And I want you to think of it this way. Think of your body. If you don't have blood running, those 8 pints of blood running through your system, you can't survive. So that's the same way with your business. If you don't have those several pints of financial blood running through your business, there's no way that business is going to survive. So
not at all. So you have
not
to
at
make
all.
sure that because it's the oxygen, man. The money is
Yeah,
the oxygen that
it
carries
is.
the business. So
That's what it is. That's what
mm,
it is,
let
man.
my bank account be low, and I am not a happy camper. Let folks start dragging out my accounts receivable.
Yeah,
Okay, now
let
now
them act like they don't want to pay you within 30 days. They'll have a problem.
they ain't gonna have a problem. So to me, because that's why I'm doing this, right? I love
Yeah,
what I do, but
yeah.
I want to get paid. That's why I am doing it. So
Like I tell my clients all the time, you and I may be friends, but you and my money are not
no,
friends. So pay me.
and
Pay
and
me.
and, and Greg always has Greg has a saying. What do you say, Greg? Get in touch with your money or be in something he says at the end of he says, don't let your something he says, put it in the chat, Greg, what you always say. He has learn about your money or be in touch with your money. Yeah, gotta
I
be in
love
touch
it.
with my money.
We have to, man. We have to. So that's the same thing with getting government contracts, guys. You got to be able to prepare yourself, first of all. So once you prepare yourself and you have that capacity, then, hi, Michelle. Once you have that capacity, then you can go after these contracts and demonstrate to the contract providers that, yes, you can perform these contracts. You have the capacity to build these to perform these contracts, and your organizational house is in order. And that takes us to our next point here, co-host. 6 steps to contract readiness. 6 steps. The first thing you want to ask yourself, if you're trying to become contract ready, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, well, who are you? Who are you? Are you somebody who has some experience, who have done work in the industry before? You can perform tasks from what you've learned in the industry, and you can provide these services or products to a contract provider like the state of California, the county of Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, LA Unified School District, LA Metro. If you're in another state, if you're in Orange County, maybe the city of Anaheim, the city of Santa Ana. I mean, you got to know these things, guys. You got to know who you are and what you can do. So the second bullet here, Crystal, work with me here. What's the second bullet? What does it
So,
say?
what are you trying to achieve? So, what exactly is your objectives for your business? What's your mission? What's your vision? What's your long term plans
Yeah.
for your business? What are your goals?
Mm-hmm.
Are you in it for the long haul, or are
Yeah.
you building the business to sell the business? But you
Mm-hmm.
gotta, what's your succession plan? You have to know this. Most importantly, you want to know um some forecasts, because if you're in business and not maintaining that, and you're not, and as I say to my clients, if you're not making any more than money or making less than what you'd make if you were working at a job, we
Yeah.
might have to sit down and do some rethinking to that
That's
process,
what I'm
because
talking about.
right.
That's what I'm talking about. Because you said on this show before, Crystal, that there are folks out there who are entrepreneurs who they're making less than if they were working for an employer. So the question is, if you're making that amount of money, would you take the same amount of money from an employer if you were working for them? And the answer is no. So why would you accept that from your business?
Right.
You
Exactly.
got to generate more, folks. So you got to know, what is it you're trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve sustainability? Are you trying to hire some folks in the community? Are you trying to grow the business? And over what period of time are you trying to grow this business? Those are things that you need to know before you enter contract readiness.
And we're not saying you come out the bat, right out the gate, making more than what you made, obviously, when you were an employee. But you have to have some goals set so you can achieve that. And
Yeah.
I say to my clients, when they're starting a business, don't quit the day job
Yeah.
till you actually are making what you made
Yeah.
in your job occupation.
Yeah.
Then you're working up to that.
Right.
So, and even then I don't say quit the day job fully. I say try to do the day job part-time
Yeah.
until you get to that place where you actually have acquired or making a profit. Now it's
Yeah.
time to quit the day job. So,
Exactly.
and that, in my opinion, is when you're ready to be contract ready.
Yep.
That you don't have to worry about how you're going to get paid, how you're
Yep.
going to take care of your. That's in my opinion, anyway.
And one of the things that I often say in my workshop, co-host, is if you are working for an employer, and while working for that employer, you're making $70,000 a year. $70,000 a year working for that employer. And say, oh, that's it. I'm going to start my own business. And you go out starting your own business expecting to make $70,000, just like you were making for your employer. What your expenses were as an employee is going to be totally different when you are an entrepreneur, because the expenses you had was for your home setting, for you and your family and the bills at home. Now you got to focus on the bills at home and the bills in the business. So $70,000 maybe help you as an employee, but now as an entrepreneur, it's not going to work because your expenses have grown. There's a lot more you got to pay. So, keep that in mind, folks. When you're thinking of starting your business, you're making a certain amount of salary. Going into business making the same amount is not going to help. There's going to be restrictions on that.
And here's what I find: they are thinking about the expenses that's going to be incurred in the business. They all of a sudden put their personal expenses on hold, like they're gonna magically pay for themselves, right?
Right,
Like
right.
like that income that they were getting every a week or every 10 days is still gonna magically come in, and
Exactly.
that's gonna take care of. Now I just have to worry about these new bills over here, these new
Uh-huh.
expenses of running my business. No, those bills over there still exist.
They still exist and they're not going away. they're
and,
just they're just sitting there growing interest and late fees.
Right. And on top of that, those are those ones that keep the roof over your head
Yep, yep,
and
yep.
and the food in your belly
Exactly.
and the health
Exactly.
insurance to take care of you in the case that you need them. So, yes,
That is true. So
understanding
so
what you're trying to achieve.
it's very good, guys, for you guys to think about these things, because I mean we're speaking about it in a jokingly kind of way right now, guys, just for you guys to look at it on a broader level. But this is serious stuff. This is really, really serious, and you really need to examine these things. When you're thinking of entrepreneurship. Some people, Crystal, and you know this too. Some people are in business and they're only breaking even. They're only breaking even, and they keep doing it month after month after month, thinking it's okay. All it takes is one catastrophic situation to
Oh my
destroy
goodness.
that.
Yeah,
One situation.
exactly. And you can't, right, and it's hard, and then the recovery or the comeback is really, really hard. So
It's tough.
so you're right, it's very serious,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so important to understand the financials, understand why you have to have financial soundness in your business.
Yeah.
All right, number 3.
The number three, I think we just touched on number three. Why you're
Oh,
trying to
why trying
achieve
to
it?
achieve it?
You're trying to achieve set sustainability. You're probably trying to grow the business, and you're trying to hire more employees. So
Right, exactly.
number four will be, with whom are you trying to achieve this? Are you trying to achieve this with just your customers in the marketplace, or if you're trying to achieve it with government contractors, government contract providers? Are you trying to do this universities? Who is it you're trying to get these contracts from and doing this business with? So you want to have that on your list and know exactly what you're trying to do.
Hey, Mr. Carlos Garcia, we haven't seen or heard from you in a while.
Oh, that's like Santa Claus around here, man. Santa Claus is here today. Hey, Santa.
Number five, where
Num-
would you like to achieve this? No,
there,
no, with whom is it? Where are we at? With whom are you trying to achieve this?
that's number four. And number five is, where would you like to achieve it? So, do you want to achieve this from public works agencies like LA Unified School District, LA Metro, LA Community College District, the County of Los Angeles, the state of California, the city of Los Angeles, all of those things? So those are organizations that you guys should be thinking about. And we're just speaking about people in the Los Angeles County region right now.
Right, but this also applies if you're watching in other cities and states.
Yeah,
Your city and your state also those opportunities are available. And but here's a question, Gilbert. A lot of them don't know that
right.
those are options for them, or those are
That's true.
opportunities are out
That is
there
true.
for them. They think it has to be just transitional, identifying
Right,
that customer and not knowing that that customer doesn't have to be an individual.
right,
That customer can be, you could be doing business to business
right.
or business to government. So understand
Exactly.
what that looks like, and whatever it is. I mean, business to business, the customer is really that transactional type of business, but
Exactly.
business to business and business to government is the contractual kind of business, and it
Exactly.
could have terms on it, but you have a better knowledge of what's going to come in versus having to make that sale over and over again and hope that the new customer is going to come to your door.
Exactly. And like you mentioned, some government agencies, they purchase certain products and services that you probably don't even think about. So if you're in a county, let's say it's Los Angeles County, Orange County, San Bernardino County, Ventura County, San Diego County, whatever the county is, that county is going to purchase a lot of different products and services because their job is to sustain the little towns around, the cities and towns within that region. So because of that, they've got a larger budget than the city in which you live, and they're going to purchase stuff. The county of Los Angeles, for example, they have 37 departments, 37 separate departments that purchase separately. So they're going to buy different things like food. They're going to buy furniture, computer equipment. They're going to purchase professional services. Professional services could mean training. It could mean communication. It could be bookkeeping and accounting services that like someone like Crystal provides. You could be one of those guys. You could be in the food service business, and you can provide some service to the county. They have contracts in those areas. So I want you to think outside of the box and start thinking of different things. The county purchases toilet papers, guys. Toilet paper, napkins. You think about it. Clothes. you know. So if you're an entrepreneur selling those things, think about it.
Right. And number six is when.
Yeah. So when do you want to do this? Do you think you're ready right now? And we're going to go over a list of readiness documents that you need to have within your organization before you can be ready. So what you can do is set a timetable and say, hey, within 90 days, I would like to have all of these things in place. So then I can start going after government contracts and or become certified as a woman-owned, a minority business, a small business, a disadvantaged business, a veteran-owned business, or an LGBTQ certified business. Any of those can help you to bring you closer to obtaining government contracts.
Awesome, awesome. So this is what so these are the first 6 questions you need to ask yourself on if I'm going to be ready for tomorrow, I need to at least get my head wrapped about around what that looks like to be contract ready. And here's the other thing, when you're contract ready, generally you're business ready and your bank loan ready, because a lot of the requirements are the same, but I believe on a contract readiness level, you're at the highest point of
Yep,
being ready. So at that point, you're
definitely.
ready for everything, right?
Definitely, definitely, because there's so many other things you're going to be looking at when you're doing contracts. There are certain protocols that you got to make sure you put in place. So looking at this checklist right here, there are 5 bullet points on here. So benefits of being prepared for government contract is understanding the total resources that you need in your business to make this happen. So the first thing you want to look at is people. People. Do you have the type of people in your organization to help you to achieve this objective? That's one of the first things you want to look at. Crystal, what's the second one?
Second one is processes. Do you have actually processes, duplications, so that it's not a one off? And most importantly, it's not just you that are providing it.
Exactly. And processes will include having QuickBooks, having Wave, having some of those financial systems in place that will automate your process for you, automate your money process. The way you get your money and the way it leaves the business, there should be a process to it. So having someone like Crystal guiding you through that process will be a good thing for you. We also have the back office piece, right?
Yeah.
we have the back office piece where you have all your documents in one place. You know which documents you need to run the business. All of that is a process as well.
And next is technology, making sure you're operating in with the tools that you need to make this happen. I can't tell you how many people that my mentor, Dr. Rosie Milligan, has started a basic uh educational platform where teaching business owners how to use Word and Excel, how to upload documents,
That
how
is
to
amazing.
how to convert documents to PDFs, because during the pandemic this
Yeah.
was a problem. People could
Wow.
not download or could not upload documents. They had
Wow.
never used Excel, they had never used Word, and that alone stopped them from being able to be able to acquire assistance during the pandemic. Just
That
simpleness as downloading and uploading.
That is so, so true. And here's another hindrance that a lack of knowledge in technology did for a lot of our small businesses back in 2020 and
Mhm.
21 when we were going through the pandemic. The SBA, the funding that the SBA gave you through IDLE or a grant, they put it in the system electronically. So you have to go in and log in and access the money and access the paperwork. It was crazy,
And they
Crystal.
could not upload or download. So,
No.
so they had a
No.
problem with that. So technology is important, guys. It is not going away. If Carlos is still on the line, it ain't going away. And then and the part that Carlos really focuses on is making sure that your technology is secure.
Yes.
And that you have the right protection, because now that we are uploading our documents, especially things for loans and things like that, you're much more susceptible to hackers and just
And
the dark web,
malwares. Yeah.
malware, all kinds of craziness goes
Yeah.
on in on the internet. So, and not being afraid that that's going to happen. You don't have to be afraid if you have the proper tools on your computer and you understand how your computer works, and there's accessibility to technicians out there that can guide you. So technology is really in this day and age, this is how we're doing business. People are
Yeah.
getting paid online because
Yeah.
most people, Gilbert, are not back in the office yet.
No, they're not.
And so which means if someone has to sign a check, you might be waiting for a very long time for your
Yeah,
payment. So you
exactly.
have to be able to feel confident that the system, that there are systems out there to protect your compute your technology.
And one of the things that I learned over the pandemic period there from 2020 to now is that okay, the old way of sending a written invoice and get back a check, a paper check, people are moving away from that now. A lot of people are using bill pay through bill.com, or they're
Hmm.
using Milo.com, or they're using what's that other one? Stripe. They use Stripe, right?
Yep,
Stripe is one
Stripe.
of
Yep.
them,
Hmm.
and that one and PayPal. You know, even PayPal. Now, those are ways that you can expedite the process of you being paid or you paying someone. All right,
Exactly. And with
but
QuickBooks, they actually have QuickBooks and Wave, they
yeah,
actually have when you process your invoice, you send it to them, and then the client can now just click a button and pay you via either an ACH
yeah,
or a credit card, whatever they or whatever their tools are or technology on the opposite side. But once I start sending my payment out that way, I get paid via QuickBooks, and same it's the same processing fee, which guys is actually a deductible an allowance. Is your merchant fees are a deductible allowance on for your taxes. So
that's good to
just
know. That's
just
very
those.
good to know.
Yeah, because most people don't know that. So
Yeah.
don't fight the deduction. Don't fight the fees. Know that you can apply. You can you know that it's one of a
It's a
reliable
deduction.
deduction at the
Right.
end of the year when it's time to file your taxes, which then
Right.
will reduce your potential tax liability.
And which leads into my next point about technology, folks. Before we move on to the other point, with technology, also when you're doing government contracts, they're going to pay you through electronic funds as well. So you want to be able to be ready for that. Your system got to be ready. Your organization got to be ready for it, because they're going to ask you a few questions. You know, once you get awarded the contract, they're going to ask you a few questions. They're going to connect you with their accounts payable department. You fill out a form, and one of the forms you're going to need to fill out is a W-9. You need to fill out that W-9 because otherwise they won't pay you. So you want to do that W-9, send it to them so they can initiate the process. The next thing is many contract providers use a credit card system that they call a P card, P for procurement or purchasing card. And that card usually has a limit to it. So depending on the organization, you can have a limit of 10,000, 20,000. You know, I've seen up to $75,000. So an organization like Metropolitan Water District, I believe they have a limit of up to $75,000. So you can do a job today and you can get paid tomorrow or the day after. No,
Right.
that's beautiful music to your
Oh,
businesses
that's
there.
awesome music, man. I can get paid tomorrow, no problem. Where I sign up.
Exactly. Exactly. So think about those things, guy. That's why you want to get ready. You want to be prepared. So the next item is products and services. What products and services are you offering? Not only are you offering these products and services, but you want to know what products and services these contract providers purchase. You know, are they gonna what are they buying now? You know, are they buying services, training and development? Are they buying furniture, computer equipment? Are they purchasing food products? Are they purchasing let's see, toiletries, you know, paper, all kind of stuff. If they're doing that, guys, you want to know that. You want to jump in. You want to know the terms. You want to know how they function, and you put that in your plan because when you're bidding on these contracts, you're either going to do a bid or a proposal, right? So that's stuff you need to know and be prepared.
And also with that is making sure that those products and services that you are offering are products and services that someone has a need for, that
Yeah.
you're solving someone's problem and this is the
Hmm.
best solution for those problems. So you want to make sure you do your homework to find out what those needs are, whether you're solving a problem or filling an unmet need. And you
Yeah.
can actually find that information out by doing your research and your due diligence on your competitors that are
Yeah.
also offering their problems. And if you're doing contracts, a lot of times their RFPs are going to outline what they want. Now you need to find out, do you meet those exact requirements for what they
Right.
need? Mhm. And
Right.
so sometimes it might be a tweak here and there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might have to pivot, but it is within your scope or expertise,
Yeah.
and may not be something that you've thought about.
Hmm.
Right. I remember, Gilbert, when you asked me, when I first met you and asked me, the second time I met you actually, and you asked me, did I want to teach a class in QuickBooks? And I went, at for college and for Mount Sac. First of all, I didn't even know where Mount Sac was. I was like, oh yeah, I have that skill. Yeah, I can do that. And then I
Right.
had to go,
See?
where the hell is Mount Sac?
See, that's because you were ready, co-host. You were
I was
ready. So it really didn't matter where it was because you go, okay, I got this skill. Got skills, we'll travel.
right, exactly. And we went. And I didn't know what that looked like. I just
Yeah.
knew that I had the capacity and that I knew how to teach. And when we got there, they're asking, I'm thinking, okay, what are they going to ask me? And they're like, well, how many people have you taught in a class? I don't know, 40, 50, 100.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How often you teach? Every week, every other day. Oh, okay. So when you want to start? Oh, okay. It's like that.
That's what I'm saying, man. See, when you are prepared and they ask you questions like those, and your answers roll right off your tongue, it convinces them and it impresses them that hey, this person, they got their stuff together. They're ready to go. You
They're ready
know?
to go. So that
Yeah,
falls into our credentials.
that's right.
Having the credentials, having to being comfortable with
Yeah,
what it is they're asking, that
yeah,
is part of what you are already offering, right?
yeah,
I mean, and you just pivot, just like I said in the very beginning of the show today. Heck, I have never had somebody translate for my course. I've done it for there was a I had a lady in my class that was deaf and we had an interpreter, but we had a sign language, but that's different than someone interpreting a different language, right?
yeah.
Because
It's
the
different.
sign language, they can do every word that you're saying, whether they're
Yeah,
spelling it out or whatever, if that's their credentials. But
yeah,
to have someone interpret it into a different language, when sometimes the English language doesn't technical English language doesn't quite translate into a dialect of the language that you're having it interpreted to, because
yeah.
not all Spanish is technical.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So
That is
being
true. That is
right,
true. That
being
is
sure
true.
about your credentials and making sure that you're current, and that if that opportunity presents itself, because in my case it presented itself 2 seconds before I was getting ready to teach.
Yeah. So having that level of expertise and skills, man, it really, really helps. It really helps. And also, if you need a permit to conduct the type of work that you're providing, you want to know your permit is current and it's valid, it's available, it's not expired, because the last thing you want to do is show up in a meeting with the client or potential client and they say, okay, do you have this permit? And you go, oh, I think I do. No, you got to know for sure. You want to know that, yes, I do have it. It's still valid. It has not expired. The same thing with certifications. If you're a teacher or an instructor and you need to have certain certification or credentials, you got to make sure that's current and it's in order. If they need your minority certification, your woman-owned certification, small business, make sure you have those credentials. So those are some of the things that you want to make sure. So once you have those 6 things in place, guys, you are good to go. Now, here are some documents that you need to have in your business to make sure that you're contract ready. So if you're a sole proprietor, if you're a sole proprietor or a partnership, you want to make sure your fictitious business name has been filed with the county in which you operate. So if you're in Los Angeles County, it's the County of Los Angeles. If you're in Orange County, it's the County of Orange. San Bernardino, County of San Bernardino, vice versa. Okay? So you want to make sure that if you're a sole proprietor or a partnership, you want to make sure that your fictitious business name has been filed, and not only filing the fictitious business name is sufficient. You got to make sure that after you file it, then you register and advertise it in a newspaper. Once
Mm.
you advertise it in a newspaper for 4 weeks, 4 consecutive weeks, then that newspaper will send a copy of that to the county's office and said, yes, we've done our due diligence. We've advertised this for 4 consecutive weeks. Now this person deserves to obtain their fictitious business name. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
keep that in mind. Number 2, Crystal, that's your business license.
The business license. So depending on what city you live in, there is a requirement by that city, especially in Los Angeles, if you're doing business in the city of Los Angeles, to acquire your business license. And you'll find this on the city of Los Angeles
Website,
business website, their business portal, and it's called the business registration. What is it? This the BR
certificate,
certificate,
BRTC.
BRTC.
Yeah,
Now, there is a difference though. If you're living in the county of Los Angeles, you don't necessarily, unless you're in the food business, necessarily have to have a business license. So just understand where you are. And
yeah,
then if you're in other cities, their requirements are different. But at their the renewal of your business license is Oh, so Greg says the newspaper doesn't always send the information. Get the tear sheets and submit the proof of publication on your own. Okay, so thank you, Greg, for that. Um, but so, and depending on other cities that you live in, you need to go to the city's business portal and find out what your requirements are.
yeah,
And then at the end of the year, you have to process your taxes for the city. That's the really reason for the business license.
yeah,
And so in the city of Los Angeles, the controller, Ron Galpert, he actually had indicated for the first year, I think, or your
yeah.
first year, up to it's a certain amount that
Up to 100,000.
up to 100,000, you don't have to pay taxes on that, but you do have to submit your business license fee by February 28th for that to apply. And I think there's a form that you have to fill out.
Yeah, you go ahead, you go online and you fill out this form. If you're generating revenues less than 100,000, if you're less than 100,000, they don't charge you any city taxes. However, you got to file that form. If you don't file that form, then they're going to deem you as being late and delinquent. Then they charge you a $300 penalty fee. And take it from me, guys. I have paid that fee before, and it's not beautiful.
So number two is on the list because you actually experienced it, huh?
I experienced that, guys. So make sure you file these forms on time, so you don't have to pay that $300.
All righty.
And then number 3 is your federal tax ID number. You need to get your EIN. So every time you register the business, if you file with the county, and then you get your business license, the next step is to get your federal tax ID number by going to irs.gov. irs.gov, guys. And then on the top menu, you click on it. It will say it filed for EIN number. It only takes 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes. So that's all you got to do.
And number 4 is your Dun and Bradstreet number. So this is a number. It's interesting. I work for. I came into a church to do some troubleshooting, and they had a Duns number, but they hadn't really maintained the Duns number, and so they actually had an accounts payable issue when I came in, and so
Mm,
but there were certain vendors that they were paying on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
that was the ones that because you actually have an opportunity, unlike your so unlike your the tax SBN and all the ones that for personal taxes, right? You
Yeah.
actually get to put in your own info.
Right.
so
Right. Right.
and
Right.
so I was able, while we were trying to clear up their accounts payable issue, I was able to start building their credit from their vendor credit
Yeah.
from making sure I utilized the ones that they were paying on a current basis until
Right.
finally we got their numbers up and and I think it goes by alphabet, right? From
Yeah. Yeah.
A to
Hmm.
F or A to something.
Yeah.
So I got
Yeah.
them up to the highest level. And then
Wow.
their vendors start calling, going, hey, wait, what's happening? Things are happening over there. Yeah, we're working on that. So your DUNS
Yeah.
number, you go over to Dun and Bradstreet, was it DNB.gov?
Yeah, dnb.com. But here's the deal though. A few weeks ago we learned that they're no longer doing the Dun and Bradstreet number. However, they're doing a number called unique business entity code. So
Okay.
in order to get that code, that number, instead of your DUNS number, you got to go to sam.gov, sam.gov.
Okay. And Greg just gave us some input. Some businesses do not need. Greg is our resident financial literacy expert. Some businesses do not need business licenses for the city of Los Angeles. So
That
he
is
gave.
true.
There's a
That is
link
true.
there, so you'll find out what business types don't require registration,
That
and you
is true.
can't and you can apply for an exemption. So for those
Yeah.
new businesses out there, check and see where you stand on the list, and then just keep that information for any future businesses that you are going to start.
And also, if you're a nonprofit, you do not need to have a business license. However, you need to go to the city of Los Angeles and let them know you are a nonprofit and here is your federal tax exemption. Or if you have your state tax exemption, you can say, here's my exemption. And then they'll give you an exemption from the business license. But if you don't do that, they're going to be sending you a bill for a business license, which you don't really need to pay, but you have to let them know. You have to let
Right.
them know.
So Greg is exempt because Greg is in the insurance industry.
Yes,
Uh,
insurance is one of those that's exempt.
yeah, so it's exempt. So they're exempt. Is real estate exempt?
Some level of real estate, some level of
Okay.
real estate. So on this link that Greg put in here, I think it will give you a list. I think there are like 30 to 40 businesses that are exempt from that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys want to check that out. Gilbert, you got 5?
Yes. So number 5 is CAGE code, CAGE code. It's an acronym. CAGE means Commercial and Government Entity Code. Now, if you're looking to get federal contracts, then you're going to need that code. That code will produce what they call a 5-digit code for you. And that 5-digit code is what you're going to use when you're applying for federal contracts, you're doing federal bid or proposals. You're going to need that code. It's a 5-digit code that's mixed with numbers and letters. So just so you know that. Number
Okay.
six. Number 6.
So
That's
that's
your
your
that's your
go ahead.
contractor's license, right?
Contractors or
Okay.
professional license if it's
Right.
applicable. So you
Right.
want to make sure you have that and that is in good standing.
Mm-hmm. Number 7 is permit. So some businesses require a permit. So if you're in the food business, you're going to need a permit. First permit, you're going to need a food handler's permit. That means you have authority to touch people's food, right? So, and then you got to do certain tests and certain exams to show how you touch the food, what you need to do. You need to have gloves, that type of thing. I see a lot of people touch people's food on TV. I hate that. Hate people touching my food. So
Especially since COVID.
yeah. So
You know, nobody handling anything without gloves
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah. So it's something you guys want to take a look at, man. You want to know. And then if you're in manufacturing, you may need a permit. So if you have a storefront, chances are you may need a permit for the type of business you're doing. So check that out. So number 8, Crystal.
You're active in corporation status, whether you're whether you are LLC, or you are sole prop, or you are a C corp or S corp,
Yeah,
um, whatever your status is. So these are the
yeah,
items that you need to have ready. Now, depending, I always say to my clients, and Gilbert, I'm not quite sure how it would, what you say to yours, but mine's is, I always say to my clients, if you're in the food business, you're in the child business, or you're in the senior business, or you're in the pet business, I
yeah,
highly suggest that you make sure that you are some corporation status, and
yes,
it's active, and you maintain this, making sure that it's active, an
yeah.
LLC, because those are the industries that people have no problem suing you for,
Oh yeah,
especially if
oh
it has
yeah,
anything to do with what you consume
yeah,
and whom you take care of,
yeah.
if that is a kind of protected class of people.
Yes, I recommend that you try to obtain for your legal structure, obtain a C corp or an S corp. Some people do the LLC because they think it's easier to manage because there's less paperwork, and I get that. But corporation is one that provides a lot more protection for your business, so you want to look into that too. Now, some people may say, I don't want to do a corporation because I'm going to be taxed twice. I would talk to an accountant, a bookkeeper, speak to my co-host Crystal. She'll guide you, or she'll refer you to somebody who can give you guys top-notch information on that. The one thing we say on this show all the time, guys, do not get your advice from a street side consultant, a street corner consultant, somebody who has no training or expertise in professional services or counseling or coaching, and they're telling you advice. Oh yeah, you can take this expense off your taxes and you'll be good. Next thing you know, you get audited by the IRS and they go, okay, I want to see your receipt for the last 7 years. You
Right,
can't produce it.
exactly. So what I actually say to people, and I, in my world, I think that you should be very aware of when you should apply, especially in a new business, when you should apply for this. So if you are just in the very beginnings of your business and you haven't generated any revenue at all, then make sure you understand that come whichever position, whichever status you acquire, come in the state of California, come January, you are going to owe $800. So
Yep.
if you have not created any revenue at all, then you want to make sure you do not do that. I always say 6 months at the if June or July you decide you're going to do this, no, in less than 6 months you're going to be paying that $800 in January. So think that through first. Understand what these statuses mean. Talk to your team. That team should consist of your attorney, your CPA, and your bookkeeper, and possibly your attorney. And so those are your teammates. So make sure you sit down with them, because I can't tell you how many people this year I've counseled. It's like, oh my God, I got charged $800 and I haven't made any money. Okay, so you didn't know that was going to happen. So understand that that is truly going to happen. And the one thing with the state of California is that they don't care. Even if you decide to dissolve it, they still want the $800. And if you don't do it that year, then it rolls over to the next, and it becomes 1,600, and just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They will not let you dissolve it until you have paid your debt.
With late fees and penalties. I'm laughing, guys, because our resident third host here, Greg, is saying that you can deduct your two dogs as dependents.
No problem. Right. Not. So make sure you understand. I always, if you're gonna do that, again, know that, you know, what kind of money, what kind of revenues you're gonna bring in. And if put some money aside. If
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna do in June and July, then go ahead and put the money in, because come January, whether you've made that kind of income or not, that is going to be what's going to happen. And in most cases, for small businesses or micro businesses, you're probably not going to generate any revenue because you haven't put all the other components in place to make that happen. So just know that.
And make sure, guys, that you understand the difference between an article of incorporation versus articles of organization. Article of incorporation is for your C Corp, your S Corp, and for nonprofits. Article of organization is for LLCs. So just so you guys know that. So those are documents you need to have in place. If you don't know if you have those documents, you can go to the Secretary of State website and you can search for it. Put your business name in and it will pop up. It will pop up a PDF file. The PDF file will state whether or not you file for your article, you register the business and get your article of incorporation or organization, depending on whether it's an LLC or C Corp. You also, moving on to number 9, you also need to have other corporate documents ready and available, such as if you're a corporation or an LLC, you want to have statement of information. Statement of information is a document that you file once you register as a corporation or LLC. You have 90 days to file that statement of information. You don't file that, you could pay a fine of $250 to the state of California. So you guys want to be on top of your game. You want to know that. So we talk about insurance. We talk about business license. We talk about fictitious business name, articles, statement of information. All of those documents you need to run the business is what you need to check out. And if you don't know what documents you need, our platform, our software platform, the Small Biz Pro, will help you with that. So we're going to put the link in the window. We'll give you guys a free trial, a 10-day trial, so you can check it out. And once you register and you get in there, you upload your document, you'll see what tiles are there, and it will tell you what documents you need to have. Okay?
Okay. So that's the list of items that you need, that you must have to get ready. Remember, we're getting ready for tomorrow. So let me go back over here. And so now let's carry on to the additional documents that you're going to need.
Yeah. So these right here will be your insurance. Every business should have insurance. I know some of you are saying, well, I don't really need insurance. I'm working from home. But I want to paint a picture to you. If you have a storefront, you've got people walking into your store, right? That's a possibility for liability, general liability. Someone could slip and fall in your store, or if you're selling food product, the food product may be hot, they may get burned, or you may eat their product. They may eat your product, they get sick. They may file a lawsuit saying, "Hey, I got food poisoning." Even though food poisoning is the more difficult thing to prove in court, but it doesn't mean they won't sue you anyway. And you're going to have to pay money to get attorneys to defend you and all of that. So get the insurance, guys. Get the insurance for your business to protect yourself. So
and also,
yeah, go
right.
ahead.
And also, if you're going to be doing contractual business, they're going to ask to see your general liability
They're going to want to see that. So, and also if you're insuring your business, they're going to want to see, they're going to make sure you have the basic liability. Then for bonding, they're going to want to see that. For contracts, they're going to want to see that. If you're doing any work with certain clients like homeowners associations, they want to see your insurance. So make sure you have that.
Exactly. And workers' comp, if you have employees, that is a mandatory requirement by the state of California.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about other states, but I know here in the state of California, and I'm sure it's probably very similar to that in other states as well. So just be aware of that.
And the next item on the list is your capability statement. You got to have that capability statement. And we go over that over and over. We teach a lot of classes on capability statement. What is a capability statement? A capability statement is supposed to be a one-page document that highlights your business. It showcases your business. It gives an overview of your business. Say, company ABC is food service business operating in the county of Los Angeles. We provide these services. This is our target demographic, that type of thing. Then it talks about your core competencies. What are your core competencies? It also speaks to your value proposition. What's the value proposition? What's valuable to me that you're bringing to me? Why you need my business? I got to explain that. What's the differentiators? What's your unique selling proposition? You got to know those things. So all of those things are on the capability statement. It's only one page. Number 12, co-host.
Your valid certification. So that's what we're talking about. Contracts, government doing business to business. And these contracts would be your woman-owned business, your WBE, or your WOSB. I'm not quite sure what is that. A women-owned
That's
business,
woman-owned small
small
business.
business. Okay,
Right.
the government and their acronyms. CBE,
Community business enterprise.
and your DBE, your disadvantage. I know that one, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
business
yeah,
enterprise, and your
yeah.
DVE must be your disadvantaged veteran.
Disabled veteran business enterprise.
Okay, your MBE is your minority business enterprise.
That's
Your
right.
SBE is your small business enterprise, and your
That's right.
SBA 8A
Yeah.
is
That's the granddaddy of them all. That's a top of the line certification, guys. That's going to require so much paperwork. You're going to want to mortgage your firstborn in order to get them those paperwork.
so you don't go for that one at first. You
No,
work your way up to that one.
you
But
work your way up to that. Yeah,
yeah. All
gotta
right.
be in business for at least 2 years before you apply for that one.
Okay. Now, number 13.
Number 13, you want to make sure you have your past performance. You want to make sure there's a history of the work and the projects you've worked on. So if you've worked on projects over the last 36 months, you want to document that. You want to state who the contract provider was. You want to state what type of work you performed. You can talk about the value of the project, how much, if it's a high profile project like, the Exposition Light Rail program from downtown LA, running that 26 mile of rail from Figueroa Street to Santa Monica. That's a high profile. That building downtown LA, the Korean Airways building, that's like a 20-story building there, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a high profile project as well. So if you worked on any high profile projects, you want to have that information ready and available. So when they ask you about past experience and past performance, you can speak to that.
Awesome. And I would imagine the list of the latest projects and contracts, the providers.
Yeah.
So that it probably is what it is. The last 3 largest projects, and basically just to show that you have the capability of doing large projects, and that you have other contract providers that you have been providing services to.
Yeah. And number 15, Statement of Qualifications. The Statement of Qualification is the bigger brother to your capability statement. The capability statement is a 1-page document. The Statement of Qualifications can be 10, 15, 20 pages. It's going to have a lot more information about your business, about when your business got started. It's going to talk about the type of services you perform, the type of clientele that you have, your core competencies. It's going to speak to value proposition. It's going to speak to your methodology, how you do certain things, how you work on certain projects. All of those things are going to be there. References. If you have references, you insert that into your Statement of Qualifications. If you have certifications, you insert those into your Statement of Qualifications. And if you have any like resumes or anything like that for your staff or your team members, you insert that too. And that's why you end up with so many pages in your Statement of Qualifications. You want to have that ready and available, guys, because many organizations like the County of Los Angeles, LA Metro, and even the state of California, before they do business with you or before they send you an RFP, they will do a request for Statement of Qualification because they want to know, are you qualified for me to send you this RFP? And then based on that, they look at your qualification. Yeah, this person's qualified. We'll send them a copy of the RFP so they can respond to that, instead of wasting it, sending it to someone who has no clue about those types of contracts.
And so you're not wasting time and they're not wasting time.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Now, your business financial statements. These are very important because for the last 3 years, because it shows the solubility of your company, how profitable you are.
Yeah.
How what's the business's financial structure, what's its health. So these are your cash flow. All of these things is just to let you know. So your P&L, your profit and loss, is showing how much money you've brought in, your income, your revenue, and then the loss, and subtracted from your gross revenues and your cost of goods if you have those, and then your operating expenses, and then you see how much money is your net profit at the end of the day. And so this tells you, the balance sheet pretty much tells you the health of the company, how much money you have on hand, what your assets are, and what your liabilities are, and your equity position for the owner. So it just kind of gives you an overview of what's going on in the company. Now, if your P&Ls have negatives for those last 3 years, and if your balance sheet doesn't show any cash in your bank account or savings, and you have your debt to ratio is pretty high with the amount of liability you have. So it's not always good to have loans, because you have a contractual agreement and you have to make monthly payments on those, and those are not variable expenses, those are called fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so those fixed expenses are going to be there for a certain period of time. That means that for a lot of these contracts, the pay terms may be 30, 60, 90, 120 days. Can your business survive during that time frame before you actually get your payment? And it's more likely that it's going to probably be somewhere between 60 to 90 days. So can
Yeah.
you survive with other revenues coming in to make sure that your financial obligations can be met, and not you're just solely dependent upon um this one contract. So that's why those are necessary. In order to acquire those financial restatements, you really truly do need to have an accounting system in place so you can generate those financial reports on demand, and that all of your financial transactions are up to date and current.
And the same thing goes to 17, right, Crystal? The tax
Yep.
returns.
Tax returns, same thing, shows that the business is making money, the businesses has some sort of tax liability, and that the business is in good standing, actually. And
And and don't listen to those street side consultants telling, "Oh, you can write that off. You can write that off." And next thing you know, the IRS is going, that is not an expense you can write off."
that's why you have a team, your CPA, your CPA, your bookkeeper, and your enrolled tax agent.
That's right.
And
You
they
notice, Crystal said enrolled
enrolled.
tax agent, not a little fly by night street corner tax agent that claim he can do taxes out of
And
the
if you're
back
on
of
this
his truck.
right now, and if you're on this level, you really want to make sure you have a relationship with a CPA, and they know
Right.
and they understand what your goals are, where you're going, how you're going to get there, and when you're going to get there, because they can help you prepare to be ready. So that's very important.
Exactly. So 18 and 19 is very similar. So what you want to do for 18 is you want to make sure that you pre-qualify in a database of a contract provider. So what they'll do is they'll make sure that you meet a certain qualification. And everything you see on this list are some of the things they're going to ask you in those databases. They're going to ask you, do you have 3 years tax return? Do you have 3 years financial? Do you have workers' comp insurance if you have employees? Do you have general liability insurance? Do you have a capability statement? So those are things they're going to ask you to get you pre-qualified into their system. Number 19, registering in a vendor database like the County of Los Angeles. You go there and you register so that they can send you opportunities when the opportunities come about, because they're going to use their NAICS codes to identify you and attach you to that opportunity. So number 20, Crystal.
And 20 is your references. These are people that you have done business with, those that you've had contracts with, and it's been a very enjoyable, favorable experience. And that they can vouch for your credentials, they can vouch for the your integrity and the performance. And so you want to make sure that you have those three references that are available. That's going to show you in your best light.
That's right. The number 21. This is your Form W-9. This is a form you want to make sure you fill out and have it in the ready position. So when a contract provider wants to do business with you, they call on you and say, hey, Gilbert, I want to do some business with you. But before we do anything, we need to receive a copy of your signed and completed Form W-9. You don't want to tell them, hey, I'll get it to you tomorrow or I'll get it to you next week. No, you should have this in your back office system ready and available. So if you have this form ready and in a platform like Small Biz Pro, you can go in there and in 6 seconds or less, you can send it to whomever is requesting it. They start the process of, getting you on a project and paying you within a certain time frame. So that's what you want to do.
Right. And I think when you get to the Form W-9, we already assuring, because they wouldn't be asking you if they ready to pay you.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true. That is true, man. So keep that in mind, guys. Just remember the same thing that these contract providers are asking you for, they're asking your competitors for those things as well. So the one who get the information to them faster are the ones that they really are going to start seriously doing business with. So you want to be that vendor of choice. You want to be that vendor that's they're going to select to do business. So you want to have all your ducks in a row, have all your information ready. And that's why we're saying that this is getting you ready today for tomorrow. You want to be ready today for tomorrow. Tomorrow's when the opportunity comes in and you want to, bam, in 6 seconds, give them what they need.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, now we're going to get to this last little page right here, because this page says, not that one, this one says, if you need help with getting that together, you can contact Mr. Buchanan, Coach Buchanan, and he can help you do that. For the accounting piece, that would be me. And we want to make sure that we start planning today. And that may not mean that this is going to happen in the next month or next 2 or 3 months. This means you could be ready by January. It may take some time for you to get all these pieces together. Don't rush yourself. I find clients always, can you hurry up and do this? Because let me tell you something about these contracts. It takes time. So
Yes.
you could be hurrying up and taking shortcuts and missing opportunities, and because you have moved too fast. So you want to take your time. That's why Gilbert says in the very beginning, number 6, win. So don't make win next week. Make win make win in a reasonable time frame, so you're not finding yourself under pressure to do this. But once you get it all ready, now you're ready for whatever that opportunity presents itself, or whenever that opportunity presents itself, and you can move forward. So that's very important, guys, so that you know. Look, what do you say? What is that? I don't even know what that is, Greg. Is that
look
is that Jamaican?
Look at the youth, man.
Oh, okay. Right.
That Greg is creating his own language over there.
Oh, okay. So that's what we wanted to let you guys know, is we want you to start really thinking in a progressive, forward, future mode, making sure you're ready. So we're not saying that this has to be ready in 2022, but this may be the process for 2021. But if we don't have goals for the future and knowing where we want to be, then that creates a problem for all of us. So that it creates a problem for you, because you put yourself on a lot of pressure. It does take some time for that. And if you haven't addressed some of those issues, it may logistically take more time than one would know. So Gilbert has put in the chat to register, check if you're contract ready. This is an assessment test, so you can take that test and it will help you see where you are. And then at that point, you guys can be where as I'm going to change the our background here, and it's going to say, just like it does on my screen, turn your business's nose to yeses,
That's
guys,
what I'm
just like the
talking
shirt
about, guys.
says.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's our business goal.
To turn your
Uh,
business no's into yeses. So when you take this assessment, whatever amount of no's you get in your answers, you work with Crystal and I, we can help you to convert them into yeses.
yes, there you go. Because we have to, we want to convert. We want you guys to be ready. That's our goal as business coaches. And we would be derelict in our duties if we did not have that goal for you. So let's take a challenge and let's turn our business no's into yeses. And Gilbert and I can help you do that. Also, our in-house financial literacy consultant, Mr. Gregory Sneed, if you have some concerns on exactly, some of us just don't have a good grasp on the financial piece, right?
Yes.
um uh the financial piece, and trying to get that piece together. And so if you need some guidance on that, Mr. Gregory Sneed is our man of action right over there, and he can help you out. And it's okay, because a lot
Yeah.
of us didn't learn these skills when we were growing up. Our parents may not have had these skills, and so it's okay, but that doesn't mean that we can't make a change. We can't change the clock around and
Right.
position ourselves so that we're ready.
Yep, definitely, man. Definitely. And don't feel badly if when you take this assessment by clicking on this link, if you take the assessment and your score is low, if you get 100%, then you're ready. If you get anything less than 100%, you're not ready. So if you get 40, 50, don't feel bad about it. That only tells you what you need to work on. And that's why you get a hold of Crystal and I. And by you getting a hold of us, then we can walk you through, we can coach you through what you need to have, how you need to get it, and where you need to get it.
Exactly. So, guys, that's our show for today. You will be able to find this show on our YouTube channel, and you can go back and enjoy it at your leisure, and then take down some notes. And then, again, if you find yourself, take the assessment test. And if you find yourself, changing business no's to yeses. Yes, Adrian. So if you find yourself uh, with a lot of no's in your assessment, then you know how to reach out to us and we can help you out. But you also have a checklist. And so you can first start with your checklist and see what you don't have, and then see what you need to do.
Exactly. And that's why we are the number one business coaches and super consultant in the marketplace right now. Just so you guys know, we've done hours and hours and hours of studies on these types of things, on small businesses, micro businesses, what makes them work, what helps them, what moves them along. And we found that what we're providing you on this show, guys, is really the key to you guys becoming self-sufficient, for you guys to make that $1 million that you may have in your goal and objective. You guys get next level, and you guys can start hiring employees.
There you go. We want you to become successful, and we want your revenues to be definitely more than $50,000. We want your revenues, your gross revenues, to move up the ladder to the $250,000, $500,000, because now you can make a difference and an impact in your own home as well as in your community. So it's important that we look at growing more profitable businesses, because it really does present a better lifestyle for yourself and your family. All
That's
right,
right.
Gilbert. I just
All
want to,
right.
this is a fantastic show. I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. Be safe
Yes.
out there, guys, because it is a very crazy world that we're living in. Get some rest and be ready to take charge again, starting July 5th.
That's right. That's right. So you guys are going to hang out with the family. Well deserved. You need to, but make sure you guys are safe. Make sure you wear your mask. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you socially distancing yourself. Because believe me, take it from me, take it from an old dog who knows, okay? I got that COVID thing. I had it back in December. It was not beautiful, guys. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, 2 whole weeks, where my body was beaten up. I got to take all kinds of drugs that really messed up my system. But on top of that, I got a big old bill for 150 grand, guys. So you don't want that. So
Wow. No, you don't want that. So, so guys, be careful this weekend. Andrea says, thank you all for continuing to show up with purpose. Thank you for
thank
joining
you.
us today. And please share if this was of value to you. Please share with your friends and relatives. Maybe not this weekend, but so
You can share it next week.
next week. So you're today tuned in to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, the podcast that shares with you information, resources, advice, consulting, and business readiness tools to help you prosper.
That's right. So, folks, we're going to take this opportunity to sign out right now, but we'll see you again next Friday from 3 to 4 or 4:30 if you guys make it interesting. So
exactly. So go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. You can also follow us on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. We want you guys to have a fantastic Independence Day. 4th of July Day, because some of us celebrated our independence on the 19th.
yeah.
So 4th of July, be safe out there, guys. See
You
you
know,
next week.
you know what's amazing, Crystal? I got another independence to celebrate next month in August.
Okay.
Jamaican independence.
All right.
August 6th, baby. August 6th.
Well, there you go. Greg, you be safe out there. You get better, feel better. We hope you don't lose your sense of taste and anything else comes along. Continue to take all your medications. And I will see you next Thursday for the community briefing. Stay tuned, guys.
Take care, Greg. We're praying for you, hoping you get better so you can have some more of that Jamaican chicken, okay?
All righty, Gilbert.
All right, guys, we're out. We're out.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.